So for this demo, we are going to use the tablet view and we'll see some of those things that we can achieve on this particular interface. So now, but we need to give our app a name. So let's give our app a name. Let me call it training app, or let's call it customers app. We are using customers data or something. Customers app. Okay, I already have customers app. Let me say this is customer details app. So once I give it a name and you have selected the format, click on create. Let me know when we are on the environment. Okay, Yinka is there. Who else is there? You have a blank screen like this, like I have on my screen. Okay, Baba Topa is there. Who else? Who else is here? Tomiwa. Okay, you can see 5 now.
I'm there.
Okay, great. All right. I think it will be safe to assume that we understand this interface now. We should understand the interface. We have our blank screen here. Nothing is there. It's different from when we started from data that Power Apps would populate 3 screens for us by default, and we can begin to just adjust things based on what Power Apps has given to us. But in this situation now, it is we that we are the owner of the business. We are the owner of the entire process. So we need to now define what do we want at on every screen or for whatever situation that we have for this particular case study. Screen 1. Let's say this is supposed to be our home screen. So the first thing I would do is I will rename the screen. And how do I rename? I can either double click on the screen name or I come to this ellipsis and I'll do rename. So I'll rename this to home screen. So I've renamed this to home screen. Then I want to customize my home screen in some ways. How do I begin? So I will start this way. I want to insert a banner at the top, a banner that would tell me what this app is for. So I'll come to insert on the tabs. So once I come to insert on the tabs, I can come down to the icons. So on the icons, I will scroll down to where I have the shapes. So when you scroll down, you see the shapes. So I'll select a rectangle. And when I select a rectangle, I'll just drag this to the top. And then I will drag this just down like this from left to right. So it covers the entire top so that it stands more like a banner. And when I've done this, then I want to add a label because I want to write my app name. I want to write it on this banner. So I will insert a label. And this label, I'll make it sit right on the banner. Just drag it straight down to sit completely on the banner. And for the text that we have on the label, let's edit that. And to edit that, we have a couple of options. You can either edit from the formula bar or from the properties pane on the right where you have the text. So either ways would work. So I'll go to my formula bar. I'll clean out the text that is there. And I will call this customers details app. I don't know if that's a good name really. It sounds somehow, but fine. Okay. So customers details app, that is the name. But this is not looking nice yet. So let's adjust some things. So now you have the label selected like this. The label is selected. Go back to the home tab. So on the home tab, I want to change the font style. So I'll use Sego UI. I want to change the font size. Let me change that to say 36. I want to change the font color. Let's use a white. And then I want to also centralize this. So I'll come to align and I'll do align center. Why is this thing not clicking? Come here, align center. What's happening is in my app. Let me do it from the right here. I can do it from here. So you can either use the commands on the home tab, or you use the properties pane on the right, or you use the properties drop down on the left. So we can also align from here. So if I click on align here, you see that it is center. So let's assume this is what we want, or probably we want to change the background color to something else, the background color for the shape, the rectangle. So you can just come to the tree view, select the rectangle, and then we can change the fill. We can change the fill to, I don't know, maybe this color is fine, maybe this. So you can change the fill to something like this. So now we have this. Then we want to add some text. Like I mentioned to us that I want us to understand certain things fully. So these are some of the things that we may want to do in reality. So we want to add some text that will just probably give some description of about our app or something, or we even want to add a date, or we want to add some stuff, just whatever things that we want to add on the app that will make the app more descriptive and more formal, so to put. So I will add another label. I will insert a label. I'll come to insert. I'll click on label. And this label, I'll bring it down here. I'll bring the label down here. And then I'll make it a bit big. Just probably something like this. And I want to put the date here. So whenever anybody logs onto this app, they can say the date here. They know, okay, we are logged on today. And then probably that's informative. So now on the text property of this label, we want to put a function, and a function that would always tell us the day's date. So when someone signs in on the app today, they know that today's date is this. You sign in tomorrow, the function will update to tomorrow's date. And the function to do that is the same function in Excel. So we can just come to the functions, the formula bar here, erase the text, and we type today. So if we type today, it doesn't require any argument. Close it, and then you see today's date here. We can actually format it to our taste. Maybe we want to say a long date or a short date, but maybe we can look at that later. So we have this. You can format the text. You can come to my home tab. I can do italics, and then maybe that's all I want to do. Maybe. And then I want to insert another label. So let me just insert another label. How do I do that quickly? I can copy this, Control C and Control V. Control C and Control V on the label that you currently have. And then I take this here. So for this, what I want to see there, maybe it's sort of a copyright. Maybe. So for the text property, I can just come here, erase this, and I say, all rights reserved or something.
I
All
know, sir.
right.
You are too far.
Okay, sorry. Please, where are we? Do you want me to go back a bit? Baba Tope.
Yes, please. Yes,
Yes,
please.
please.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Okay, to the date, or where exactly?
The first label.
The first label here. Okay, so this is what we have done. Let me delete this guy.
I understand.
And Toba.
Yes, so there's a hand up we need to attend to. Morton once hand is up.
Yeah, I think it's from a old and I guess. Tomiwa, am I
Okay.
correct with that?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Toba. Okay, so now this is an icon. This is just a shape that we added initially. So, but this shape by default, we really cannot write on it. So we need a label. There are a couple of ways to do this actually. So we can use a label also, and that label, we give it a background field. But I just prefer to use shapes and then just insert a label on it. So there is no single way to how we can actually achieve this. But we already have a shape like this. And this shape, we need to write something on it. So I'll come to my insert tab and I will insert a label. So you can see this label is sitting on the shape. So I just want the label to assume the size of the shape itself. So I'll drag this all the way right. Hi, Baraka.
Hey, please, how did you insert the shape?
Okay, so you come to insert and you come to icons. Are you
Thank
there?
you.
Then
Yes.
you just scroll down, you see the shapes towards the tail end. You see rectangle, triangle, and all. So you select a rectangle.
Yes. Mm.
Okay, great. All right, so now we have this our text box here, our label rather. So we want to write the name of our app on this label. So go to my formula bar where I have the text. And on the formula bar, I will erase what is there by default and type in the name of our app. Customers, details, app. So I've typed that in, but it's on dark font. Sorry?
Yeah, I have a question. Must the quotation mark be with it?
Okay, thank you for that question. So the quotation mark has to be there because what we are typing or the input is a string or a text. So if it were to be figures, we don't need quotation mark there. Do you understand that?
Okay.
All right. So now we have this, but we need to make it more visible kind of so that we can see things a bit clearly. So now you have the label selected. The label has to be selected like this. And then we can actually do this a number of ways, but I prefer to go to the Home tab. So on the Home tab, you'll see all the commands you need to format this label, just the same way we do in Microsoft Word. So you click on the label, go to the Home tab. I want to change the text for the font style. So maybe to a Vedana. And then just next to it, I would say the font size. At the moment is on 13. So I want to change this to say maybe a 32 is fine. Then just to the right, you'll see the font color. Maybe we do a white for this. And then we want to centralize this. So still on the Home tab, you come to Align. And we can align center. I don't know why my align center is not working. I don't know. So, but from the properties pane on the right, you can actually come down to text alignment and do the center align.
Mose, I think maybe you need to click on it first. The
Okay.
align.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess you're selecting the shape and not the text.
okay, you mean the shape?
Yeah, you are selecting the shape and not the text. If you select the
Okay.
text, I think it should align.
Yeah, my thoughts too, but I don't know. I think this is the label. I have the label selected. I'm clicking on left now, but it's not going. I don't know, but thank God there are a number of other ways. Okay, so thank you for that. So now we have this. Everyone is here now, correct? Are we all here?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
Yes,
great. Okay, sorry, yes. Okay, so now the other thing we did here was just to insert another label. So let me take off this, guys. I'm going to insert another label. Go back to insert. I'll do a label. So this label, I want to drag it down to the bottom left. But what I want to see here is today's date. So
hello.
now how do I do that? Sorry.
Yeah, hello, sorry. If I want to delete a label, how will I do it? I try to right click and to see.
No. So what you can do is have the label selected, press delete on your keyboard. That's
Okay.
option one. The second option is under your tree view, come to that label. You see an ellipsis in front of it, 3 dots. You click on it, you say delete.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So now this label, what we want to see here is today's date. So now we come back to the formula bar where we have the text, but we don't want to see any text here. We want Power Apps to always return today's date for us and display it on that label. So I'll just come to the formula bar. I'll clean this guy out and I will write the function to pull that in. So Power Apps uses that function to always return today's date, and the function is today. So we just type today. As you're typing, you would see options. IntelliSense will bring out some options for you. Just select today. We close the bracket, and that will return to this date for us. Are we there?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for the feedback. Everyone is there. Are we there? Who is not there?
Hello, Musin.
Hi, Olumide.
Please, I would just like to confirm if the date automatically updates itself.
Yes, it does. So if you sign on to the
Oh.
app tomorrow, you'll see tomorrow's date.
Okay. Thank you.
So these are some of the functions in Excel. They call them volatile functions. So what volatile functions are is they recalculate whenever you open that Excel file. So for instance, you are doing it today, you want it to return today's date. So if you open the Excel file tomorrow, that function will recalculate itself and will return tomorrow's date. So it's a volatile function, so it's not static. It will always return the updated result. Okay, so everyone, we are here. Then let's go on. So just duplicate this label, and to duplicate that, have the label selected. Do Control C and Control V. Control C and Control V, and move the duplicate to the right. Just drag it to the right, the duplicate. Okay, just drag it to the right. But for this one, we don't want it to return the date. Maybe we just want to do like something around copyright or something, depending on what you want to see there. It's not a must you have all these. They are just things that I ordinarily would add to the app. So we want to type a text in here. How do we type in? We need to first introduce a quotation mark, and then we type in, because what we want to type in is a text. So we need to use that quotation mark. We say all rights reserved. And you close the quotation mark, and that should appear on your label. So that should appear on the label. Let's confirm when we have that. Do we have that? Do we have this label?
Yes.
Yes, I do. But I have a
Oh,
Yes, I
question.
do.
yes, you do, but sorry, Tope, but
Times,
what?
can I?
Hello, Tope, you are muted.
Or if
I
I
really
could
can't hear
proceed.
you. Your line is breaking.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Okay, yeah, I can. Yeah.
All right. So I observed something that after typing, then I press enter. It throws error out, and I want to ask, is it that I just click out, or how do I do that?
Did you type in the closing quotation mark?
Yes, I did.
And the first one, the starting one is there too.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, normally it shouldn't really. So if you hit enter, you should not throw error. But the reason why you could have an error, this is working with the internet. So if Power Apps does not send the entire thing you typed, so you see a portion of it red, the remaining portion may be blue or something. You get, that means it has not read it up to the end of what you have typed. So it's assuming that you have not closed that the quotation mark. Do you understand?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So now a quick exercise, 1 minute, everyone. What we have on our label now, we can see that the text is aligned to the left. So I want everyone, let's align the text to the right. Align the text to the right. As soon as you have it on the right, please use the raise hand icon. Okay. I have Babatope. Align the text to the right. So it's sitting. Okay, I can say 3 hands up now. Great. Please leave up your hand.
The line is not working. Mine is not working like yours, so I don't know.
It's not working. Okay, so the other option you have is select your label, and on the properties pane to the right of your screen, you'll see text alignment. Then you can use the commands there. Okay, great. So I can see a number of us, we have that already. Correct. So now let's move on. So now we have, remember, what we are working on at the moment is the home screen. On this home screen, we need a number of buttons that will take us to the other screens that we want our users to get to. So I'm going to insert a button now. So you come to your insert tab, we come to button. So it gives us a button. I'll take the button down like this, and I want to make the button this big. So I will make this button this big, maybe something like this. This may not be the perfect design for whatever we want to do, but this is just so we understand the concept and how we can tie things together. So I have a button like this, and this button, I want to give it the color of my banner. That is, I want it to take the color of my banner. There is actually a quick way to do that. So, but let's use an order method first, and then probably if time permits, you can look at, because that will require that we write some functions, and I don't want to confuse us with some of those functions. So we click on this button. You have it selected. The same way you can go to Home, and you come down to your field, and we want to fill it with this color. I'm not sure if that is the color for the shape. I don't know, but I think it's looking like it really, maybe. So we do that. And for the text that we have on the button, we can see it is showing button. We want it to show something descriptive. Maybe we want it to be a sort of view customer. So it takes us to the browse screen, the normal browse screen that we have on our app when we start from data. So that is what we want to build on this button. So you click on this button, and on the properties pane, you come to the text, clean out the button, and then let's type in view customers. Or maybe just customers, maybe something like that, customers. When you have typed that in, click out. Click out. That should be there. We can also format that text to be a bit bigger. So just select the button again. Select the button again. So on the Home tab, you would see the text size or the font size. If you click on the drop down, maybe we do 18 or 20. So we have this. And then I want to add an icon on this. I want to add an icon on this button. So I'll go to, you have the button selected. I'll go back to insert. I'll go to icons. Then I want to add this search icon. That's what I want to add. So I'll just drag it down onto my button, just a little bit above the name, the button name. Then I'll select that icon. The color, I'm not fine with the color. I want to change the color to maybe a white. So select that icon. Then I'll go to the Home tab. I'll come to the color, and I will do a white. Is everyone here?
Please, can you repeat the last
Please,
one? The white.
Okay, the icon, right?
Yes.
So select the icon, go to Home tab. You get to the color and select the color you want. Are you there now, Tomiwa?
Yes, I am. Thanks.
Great. Yeah.
please,
Okay, so everyone is here. Okay, Baraka.
the fill colors. I noticed there's no fill, like no fill. They all have
Yeah.
colors. How do we
So
get a no fill?
you mean for the icon, right?
Yes, for fills generally. I
You don't want to
mistakenly
fill it.
filled no, I mistakenly filled the icon shape. I wanted to return it back to no fill. I couldn't find no fill on the
Okay,
colors.
you can undo. That's just Control Z or
Control Z.
something.
Z.
Yeah, you can use that to undo, but I think there should be a way to return it. Let me do something. So if I come to the field here, so now this field here, you can see this RGBA. That is telling you that there is no field at the moment. 0000. But maybe it's you. If you type in this code, the field should go off. Just come to the properties pane here, select field, and type in what I have here, RGBA 0000. At the moment, you have a color here for yourself. So you can wipe out the color and just type in this. That should take it off. Are we good now?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So now everyone preview your app, play your app, and tell me what happens to the button. Click on the button and tell me what happens.
Fading. The color is fading.
The color is fading. Who else?
Coming back.
Okay, for you, Baraka. What's happening on our own apps? Can we notice anything?
Color
Sorry, how do we play the app?
You can do F5 on your keyboard, or at the top right, you see a play button.
the color
So
is
what's
fading.
color is fading?
Once I put my cursor on the customers and the search.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's not going anywhere, right?
Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
Okay, great. All right. So now let's go on and do something. But before we go to another screen, the reason why the button is not doing anything yet is because you have not configured it to do anything. So it's still just static. We need to tell Power Apps that when a user clicks on this button, this is what should happen. Sorry, today we are not going on break so that we can cover what we have for today. So everybody click on your button, click on the button, and hold down Control to click on the what's it called? The icon. I want us to select the button and the icon. So you may need to select the icon first, then hold down Control on your keyboard and select the button. So you see the two highlighted. When you have the two highlighted, do Control C, Control V.
Yeah, excuse me.
I'm
Please,
unable.
highlighted here for my own.
It's okay.
Just
So this way, okay. Come to the tree view. Select your button 1. Hold down your control and select icon 1. Do you have both selected now?
yes.
Yeah.
Then do Control C, Control V. That gives you a second button. Do the same thing to get a third button. So we want to assume that we need 3 buttons on this screen. So let me know when we have 3 buttons.
Yeah, we have 3 buttons.
Okay, great. Thank you, Tomiwa. Who else has that? Who else? Okay,
have
But
Kosito, answer.
sorry, without the search, but it's without the search icon.
Okay, you didn't select the
Oh,
two.
you didn't select the icon. So just you can do that from the tree view. You can do Control Z, so it reverses, and then select icon 1 from your tree view, and hold on your control to select button 1. The 2 should be selected.
Hold on. Icon 1, right?
Yes, icon 1. That's the icon that we added.
Okay, then hold down select or
Hold
control,
down
right?
Control, yeah, then click on button 1.
Okay.
Do you have the 2 selected now?
Yes.
Yeah, then do Control C, Control V.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
Okay, great. All right, so now we can actually go on to modify the other buttons. So maybe you want to add new customers. So click on the second button, and where you have on the properties pane, where you have the text to be customers, we can say new customer. So maybe this button is what will take us to where we are going to add new customers and like that. So but now we need to make our buttons active. And how do we make our buttons active? Remember, we mentioned that when a user clicks on the customers button, we expect that it takes them to a page where we have a list of all our customers, the details of all our customers, just like we normally see on the browse screen if we are building our app from data. So we need to add a second screen now. We are done with the home screen. Actually, for development purposes, we are supposed to rename all the objects that we have on the screen. So like I have button 1, I can double click and say btn underscore customers. btn underscore customers, the icon, I can double click it and say icon underscore customers. Okay, so that it is a lot descriptive, and if you have a lot of objects, you know exactly where you want to go to. So you just go to the tree view, click on it, and it highlights on the page, and then you can get to what you want faster. So that's on the development point of view. So now let's add a new screen. Under your home tab, you come down to new screen, and we want to add a blank screen. We add a blank screen.
Sorry, please go over that again.
Okay, so you come to the home tab. We would see new screen. We click on the drop down and we select blank. Do we all have that? Everyone has a blank screen now. Great. All right, so this blank screen, let's leverage on the design we have from the home screen. So we go back to the home screen, everybody. Let's go back to the home screen. Let's select our banner. That's the shape and the label. We want to select the two. So you need to select the label and then you select the rectangle. Select the label, hold down Control and click on the rectangle. Then you do Control C and come to screen 2, click on screen 2, or sorry, the other screen that you have, the blank screen, and do Control V. Are we all there?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
please, can you go over it again?
Okay, so this is what we have done. Come to your home screen. So under the tree view, you can select your label. Maybe label 1 is that of the header. Once you click on that label, you see it's highlighted on the canvas. So the label,
Okay.
that's the banner. Then you hold down Control and select the rectangle. Have you done that?
No, I'm on it. I'll get it. Don't worry.
Okay. So once you have the two highlighted, just do Control C and come to the other screen and do Control V. So everybody rename your label. Maybe let's call this customer summary. Maybe we call this customer summary. So rename it. We know how to rename now.
Customer what, please?
Summary. Customer summary, customer details. We just want to see, we want to have the details of all our customers on this page. That's what we want to see.
Okay.
Yeah. Are we all here, everyone?
Yeah.
Great. All right. So having done that, then remember that when we built the last app, on the browse screen, there was an object there, which is called a gallery. I think we discussed that a bit. And what gallery does for you is that it allows you preview whatever you have in your data source. So it goes to the data source, pull out those data for you, and then you can see it on the app. So now we are going to add a gallery on this app now. We'll add a gallery. So everybody go to insert. You go to insert. You see gallery. Click on the drop down and let's select vertical. So vertical gallery is what we want to use now. You can actually select horizontal. That's just all based on the orientation. It has nothing to do with what you're building.
Insert gallery. Where's
Right.
gallery?
Can't find gallery.
Okay, you need to go to insert tab.
Yeah.
So
I can't
under
find
insert,
gallery too.
After
okay.
mixed
Our
reality, see a drop down.
okay.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
I think the interface is a bit different there. Sorry. Yeah, so it could be after the mixed reality. Yeah, thank you, Babatope.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, you see the gallery there.
Yes.
Let's select vertical.
And you said mixed.
Okay.
And then let's just resize it. Let it take maybe half of our page.
Should we choose vertical?
Yes, vertical here. We can actually make it cover the entire page. It depends. So if you are making it cover the entire page, that means we want to create another screen for our detail screen. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that for this demo. So let us cover the entire page here. Let us cover the entire page here. And then we come to on the properties pane on the right. If you look at the data source, what do you have on the data source? In front of it, what do you
None.
have there? None.
None.
None. It's because we have nothing linked to this. So everything we have here, they are just placeholders. So we need to now link our app to the data at this point. So now let's click on the drop down where we have none. Let's click on the drop down where we have none. And then we go down to where we have connectors. Select the connectors and scroll down to your OneDrive. Scroll down to OneDrive. Select it. You may not have anything at the moment because probably you have not connected to OneDrive before. So you can click on add a connection. And that will prompt you to sign into your OneDrive account.
Sorry, from here there is no.
There is no what?
I can't find how to connect.
Sorry, I didn't get that. You can't find what?
You said we should click on add to connector.
What do you have there? After you clicked on OneDrive, what can you see?
I have
There's no
Excel account contacts.
Sorry, I can't. Please, could you be more audible?
there. I think it's just Office 365 users and SharePoint
That's what you have under your
connectors.
connections.
Yeah.
Under your connectors, Office 365 users and what
SharePoint.
again? SharePoint.
SharePoint. Yeah.
I'm looking.
I
And if you go down, you see see all
I had to type
connectors.
it manually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. They're still down. Okay. Then
yeah.
let's
I
SQL
type it
server.
manually and it
Let's
came up.
see all connectors.
Maybe that will work as well.
Okay, yeah. So we can search I will just scroll down, click on see all connectors, and you should see OneDrive. Do we have it now, please?
Drive. Let's just search for it because there are lots. OneDrive.
I won't try.
No, I don't have one. No match found.
I won't try from my own email.
No OneDrive. Okay. Abdulaziz, do you have it?
No.
No. Baraka, do you have OneDrive?
Yes.
Sorry.
I'm still scrolling.
Okay.
Just search. There are a lot. Just search for it.
So let's try. Let's just confirm if we all do not have it. I know some of us who have Office 365 account, we must have that definitely. But for those of us on trial, I assume that we should have it as well.
I have
Excuse
OneDrive.
me, I have 665 users. Yeah.
No, not Office 365 users. OneDrive as part of the connectors. Baraka, did you say you have it?
Yes,
I
I
don't
do.
even have one as a connector.
I didn't get that, please.
I said I
do
don't
have.
have.
Okay, you don't have it. Okay.
Yeah.
Baraka, do you have it?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Mazida, do you have it?
Yes.
Okay. Why do some of us why don't we have it? I'm not sure of that because some of us are on trial and we have it already. We have OneDrive. What could be happening?
I'm surprised though because I have OneDrive from the organization, but it's not showing in this
It's not
particular
showing.
interface.
Okay, let's try
Yes.
something else. Just behind your tree view, behind the tree view, we have some icons there. Below the plus
Yes.
icon, you see data sources. Click on that cylinder below the plus sign.
Okay.
And where you have add data, let's come down to connectors. And let's try from here if we would see OneDrive. And those of us that we can't see OneDrive, please let's confirm the environment we are on. Is it default or the trial?
I'm on the trial here.
Okay, on the trial, you should see it actually. So can we get it from here, from this other side? Do we have OneDrive now?
No, I don't have still.
Don't have. Wow, that's strange. Okay, this is what we will do, please. So let's still continue for those of us that we have, so we can follow through. Those of us that we do not have yet, let's still just watch how we link this, and so that we can round up, and maybe after this session we can try out some other things. If we still do not have it, then we'll see what other alternative we can work with, so that we practice this later, please. So let me come back to my gallery. So I'll select my gallery. So please, we can just watch this for those of us that we do not have. So I will select OneDrive, and then I'll connect to my OneDrive. So now it's going to bring up all the Excel files that you have on the OneDrive. So just navigate to the file that we shared with us earlier and select that file. So it's called customers. So I'll select it. Then I'll select the table 1, that's the table on that file, and I'll click on connect.
Sorry, can you go back to where you started from OneDrive?
Okay, let me do this again. So come to the data source.
Yes.
I'll search OneDrive.
Yes.
I'll select OneDrive. Then because I have my OneDrive connected earlier, that's why it's showing by default. Otherwise, you might be asked to sign in. So I'll select this, and then it's navigating down to, this is my OneDrive folder. These are the folders on the OneDrive. So I'll select Power Platform Series.
Okay.
That's the folder. And I have this Excel file. This is the file that was shared with us, customers. So I'll select this. There's a table in that file. I'll select that and I'll click on connect. So once I click on connect, we'll see that we have the data on our gallery already. So it's showing on our gallery. But the layout that we have at the moment is such that it requires a picture, which we do not have on that file. So what I would do is we'll come to the layout on the properties pane. So on the layout, at the moment is on image, title, and subtitle. So we'll click on the drop down and let's change it to title, subtitle, and body.
Yeah, do you suggest that we that doesn't has this the OneDrive, can we proceed from here?
For those of us that we don't have OneDrive, okay. Okay, let's go to the data source again and search for Dataverse. Search for Dataverse and see if you can connect to the table that we created for the other app. Let's try that.
Is it the sales app? The sales app table?
Yes. Yes. Is it visible for you? Can you connect to it?
No, I can see it, but I'm trying it again because I saw the OneDrive on when I'm trying to save, so I'm just trying to check it again. Maybe.
Okay, if you would say it, just do.
Because I can save to OneDrive, but I don't know why it's not coming up.
Yeah, so it should come up normally. So I don't know. Sorry, Baraka.
I can't sign in to the Microsoft. I don't have a Microsoft account.
But did you upload the file onto your OneDrive before now?
OneDrive. I uploaded to my drive.
Your drive, your Google Drive.
Yes.
Okay. So what you would do after the session is that you would need to create a Microsoft account the same way you create Google account. That is the same way. Create a Microsoft account. You would have access to OneDrive. You can move the file onto OneDrive and have it connected here. You get. But for now, you can just try to see if you can link this to your Dataverse. So where you have the data source, search for Dataverse and see if you would see the table that we provisioned for the last session.
Yeah, the table is here.
It's there. Okay, let's connect to it.
Okay, so
So
click on it.
The sales app table?
I believe so, yeah.
So how do we connect? Is it just by clicking on it or what?
Yes, just click on it. Click on it, you should say connect.
How do I get to my data first?
So where you have the data source, click on the drop down and search Dataverse.
I can see there, so that's why.
Are we there now?
I found the drive.
Sorry, I didn't get that. Yeah, ma.
I found my drive.
Okay, you found the OneDrive. Okay, great. So have you connected to it now?
My system is slow, so I just want to listen and then do it after.
Okay, that's fine. So those of us that we are connecting to Dataverse, are we there now?
Not really.
Okay, what's the challenge?
Is Dataverse as in hello?
I can hear you.
Dataverse as in DATAVERSE.
Yes, DATAVERSE. Yeah, you can say it.
There's no match found.
No match found. I don't know if this could be an internet issue though. So, but let's just still watch this for now, please. So we can always refer to this later so that we get to a reasonable point on this, please. So now we have our gallery now connected to a data source. So the next thing we would want to do is just to rearrange what we can see at the moment. So at the moment, what this is showing us is if I come to this pen here, this pen at the top left of the gallery, so it will select the first record for me, and then I can get to this first label here. So if you click on the first label, those of us that we are with me on this, tell me what you have on your formula bar.
Agent, this item dash agent name.
Oh, correct. This item dot agent name. So what this is doing is that it's going to our data source and then pulling out the agent's name for us. So this is the data source. This is the Excel file. So let me see if I can, yeah. So this is the Excel file. And then what the first record is showing is the agent's name. That is not what we want to see. We want to be able to see the customer's first name and the customer's last name. That is what we want to be able to see instead of the agent's name. So what we can do is that on the formula bar, so we just click on the formula bar, we wipe out the agent's name. So you should have this item dot, then we can say first name. So once you begin to type first, you have an option to select from, just select that, and you should have the customer's first name. Let me know when we have that.
So yeah, my question from this one is, I think we are still on, this thing is a string, right? And doesn't has any quotation mark on it.
Yes, it doesn't because we are not doing a manual input. This is calling from a function. It is a function that we are using to pull this out. I don't know if you understand that.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah. Okay, so those of us that we are with me on this, have we done this? Do we have the first names on our gallery now?
Yes,
Okay,
I
so
do.
can I ask a question?
Please go on.
So the first name that's the column header, right?
Yeah, that's the column header, correct. That's the column header. So for each of the records, so it will now go onto that column and pull out the first name. So what we have here, this is a record, this is another one, this is the third one, this is the fourth one, and like that. So now we may also want to do something here. So, okay, before then, the second one where we have one, you will see that on the formula bar, we have this item does customer number. So maybe we want to see the location instead. So I'll clean out the customer number and do this item dot location. So once you do this item dot location, we should have that changed to location. And then the last bar, I want us to change it to the VIP level. So once you have that, please let me know.
I have that.
Okay, great. Thank you, Sandra. Who else has that? Who else has the VIP level here? Okay, Olumide has it. Okay, great. Oh, you have a question, Olumide?
I have a question, please, sir.
Okay, please go on.
Please, under the first name, where they wrote Vicky, I don't know, is there like a combo function where both the first name and the last name can just come out at once?
So instead of the Vicky, we should have Vicky and then with the last name, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, so we can do that. So what we'll do is select the Vicky again. Everybody, please, let's watch this. We'll write just something simple here. So click on the label for Vicky and then come to the formula bar. So instead of having just this item dot first name, we are going to wrap this in a function. So just the function we use in Excel to join text together. What's the function we use in Excel to join text together? Anyone?
Concatenate.
Concatenate. Concatenate. So we write a concatenate here. Concatenate. We want to concatenate this. So you open a bracket. And then, so you have this item dot first name. That's the first thing you want to concatenate. Then comma, concatenate this with what? So you want to add this to this item dot last name. And you close your bracket, but there is more to do. So when you do that, you should have your first name and the last name. You can see we have Vicky Darling now.
Okay.
Then the next thing is just to put a space in between. So after your this item dot first name, where you have that comma, so just introduce a quotation mark, space, close the quotation, put a comma, and that should be fine.
Hello, Musi.
Hi, Baraka.
I could connect my Google Drive to this platform. So my table is just showing the name and number. Not there's no Canada nor country.
Okay, yeah. So what you would do is that you select the number, the field that has the number, where you should have one under the name there. Is that correct?
Yes.
So select that and look at your formula bar. You would see something like this item dot customer number. Is that what you have?
Yes.
So erase the customer number and type in location. So what that does is that you are referencing the column name. So whatever details you have under the column name will be returned on the gallery. So that is what it's doing. So you have the customer number reference. That's why you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So now if you reference the location, you should have Canada, Brazil, and like that. So Olumide, I don't know if you're clear on this now.
Yes, I'm clear.
Great. All right. So we have this now. We have our gallery. So how many more minutes can we spare? It's 5 minutes after 10 already. So we can round this up. Let me know how many more minutes. 5, 10. How many more minutes?
I think 30 minutes is okay.
Okay, that's a suggestion. Anyone to second, anyone to go against that? Okay, seconded. Okay, great. All right, let's go. So now we have this now. Then let's go back to our tree view and select our home screen. We need to link our button to the screen so that when a user clicks on the customer's button, it takes them down to the screen. And by the way, let's rename our screen 1. We remember how to rename screen 1. Just double click on screen 1 and let's call this customer summary screen. We have renamed that. So then let's come to our home screen. Select the button, the customer's button. Let's select that. And once you have it selected, you'll see that on the formula bar, you have false. That is for the unselect property. You see the unselect property behind, and then you'll see false. So that is telling us that on select of this button, when this button is selected, it is not doing anything. So, but now we want it to do something. And how do we make it do something? we erase the false and we type navigate. We want the button to navigate us to another screen. Type navigate, open your bracket, and then it's asking where do you want to navigate to. So we want to go to our customer summary screen. I'll press tab.
Sorry, Muslim, I can't see false in mine when I select it.
Okay, so if you can't see false, then just behind the formula bar, you'll see a box there, a drop down. Click on the drop down, then go to the unselect property. You see unselect.
Okay, I've seen it now.
Yeah, so once you select that, you see false on the formula bar. Clean out that and then type in navigate. Specify the screen you are going to and close your bracket. You can decide to put a comma, add a transition and all. So, but navigate and then you can close your bracket. And let's play our app now. So if I do F5 and I click on the customers button, it should navigate to the customer summary. It should navigate to the customer summary. Do we have that, everyone?
Yes.
Okay, who else? Who else has this? You have linked your button to your other screen.
Yes.
Okay, great. Anyone else has done that? Anyone else? Anyone else?
For me, I'm just following it because of my system.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, me
Tommy, why are
too,
you
because
there?
of the OneDrive. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm just
because of the
following too because I
OneDrive.
don't have the OneDrive. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So please let's follow. Let's go on. So now we can see that when we played our app, we clicked on our button, it brought us here. But if we want to go back to the home page, there is nothing that will take us back to the home screen. So we need to add an icon that will do that for us. So what we can do is on this customer summary screen, we can add an icon here. So I'll go to insert, I'll go to icons, and then I can scroll down to select home. Can scroll down, just select the home icon. Can make this sit at the edge here. And then let me just format this. So I'll come to home. So for the color, I'll make this white. And we need to make this functional as well. So at the moment, if I preview the app and I click on the icon, you can see it's not doing anything yet.
Yes.
So I need to select the home button, the home icon, come to the properties drop down. We scroll down to unselect.
Navigate.
It is false here, so we navigate to the home screen.
Oh.
Navigate to the home screen.
Yeah, sorry, I have one question to ask on this.
Go on, please.
Yeah, the other time we had, why can't it be like we should go on action? like want to perform an action. I understand that
Yes,
okay, navigating, but
yeah,
can
we can
action working?
get to navigate from there too. Do you get?
All right.
We can get to navigate from action as well. So it doesn't necessarily mean that we write this function. There are numerous ways to do the same thing within Power Apps. Numerous ways. So, but personally, these are just my own preferences. So, but we can come to action, come to navigate, and do whatever. You can see it does the same thing for us. So now we have this. Then now, for each of these records here, we want to see the entire details so that, okay, if I want to see the full details of Vicky Darling, I'll just click on this and then it shows me the full details for this person. So now what we can do is that so that we don't create another screen, so we just quickly see how this works. I'm trying to work by the time so that 10:30 on the dot, we will call it a night. So let me just reduce this. Let me reduce this so that we see what's happening on the side right away. And the gallery, we can actually still work on it more to say that, okay, we don't want to see a record per line. We want to see 2 records or 3 records, depending on how we want to arrange things. So if we want to see more than a record, what we do is select your gallery like this. And on the properties pane to the right, you would see wrap count. Can we all see wrap count?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now for the wrap count, we have 1. So we can make this 2, 3, 4, or just whatever you want. So once you make it 2, you see that you see 2 records per line. Just that's just depending on how we want to design our app. So now we want it that when a user clicks on Vicky Darling, for instance, it shows the full details of Vicky Darling, just like we normally see on our detail screen. So we want to add a detail screen here now. That's what we want to do. So how do we go about that? The object that is on the detail screen that allows us to see what the user, what other details the user has, is actually a form. It is a form. But we have 2 types of forms in Power Apps. We have an edit form and we have a detail form. If we are creating a screen that we want the user to be able to type in, just fill in something, then we use the edit form. And if we want to create a screen wherein we just want a sort of a view only feature, then we use a detail form. So how do we get to a form? We stay on our screen, we come to insert, and on the insert, we come down to forms. So when we click on the drop down for forms, you see edit and display. So click on display. So that would add a form on this screen. So you can just drag this to the right. And then let me just make this a bit smaller so it's not overlapping. And maybe something like this, just so it sits well. But at the moment, our form is not displaying anything. Do we have our forms added on the screen? Let me confirm that, please. Do you have the form added onto the screen? Do we have the form? My people are tired. Sorry, we are closing soon.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Mazida, who else is following? Baba Tokwe, do you have the form?
I'm just following. My system is just loading. It's been frustrating.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so now for those of us that we have the form, you see that the form is not connected yet. So the same way we connected our gallery to the data source, that's what we do here. So just have the form selected, go to your data source where you have none, and you should see the table that you connected to from your OneDrive. Just select that table, and then that is connected now, but you still do not have any fields. Remember, when we were working from data source, when we were creating our app from data source, we had to edit the fields to bring in those fields. So the same thing is what we'll do here. So you have your form selected and you come to edit fields on the properties pane, click on edit fields. You click on add fields and you select the fields. Just select those fields and you click on add. So when you have this, then we can just quickly rearrange. So the first name should come first. Then I want to see the last name. Then I want to say, let's say the agent's name. Okay, customer number before the agent's name. Then maybe we are fine with the other arrangements. So we just close this pane. Sandra, Mazida, do we have this?
Yes.
Okay. Sandra, do you? Baraka, do you have this as well?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. All right. So now, but this is just showing the fields. We are not seeing any detail yet. So what we need to do is to come down to the properties drop down on the left, click on the drop down, scroll down to item, click on item, then you see that the item is blank. That's why we don't have anything. So we want to tell Power Apps that it should display to us whatever is selected on the browse gallery. So whatever is selected on the gallery is what it should display to us. And if we don't forget, our gallery on the customer summary screen is called gallery 1. So what we need to type on the formula bar here is we say gallery 1 dot what dot selected. So whatever is selected on the gallery 1, we want it displayed on our detail form. And as soon as you type that, you'll see that your detail form is updated and you have those details. Please let's confirm if we have that now. Let's confirm if we have that. Let's confirm.
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. So now let's play our app. Select some other details. Just click on other details. You should see the complete details update. If I click on Townie leader, that's updated. If I scroll down to select net installment, that's updated here.
Hello, Mohsen.
I go on Baraka.
The form view, it is bringing a kind of cross sign, like it's error, an error.
Error. Okay. So now that's from the formula. So just click on, there will be a drop down just below that error. Click on it and click on edit formula.
I'll click it.
So what do you have on your formula bar?
I have Gallery selected, but the selected is the S is on
So
lowercase.
that doesn't matter really. Do you have a dot between gallery 1 and selected?
I do.
Okay, so just clean out the selected and start typing it again. You should have some options. So you just select from the option that you have directly. Does that work?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. All right. So now another thing that we may want to do is, yes, when we select something on our gallery, it updates on the detail form, but we want to be able to know exactly what's selected. At the moment, it's only if we start to trace back what was selected, that's how we know what's selected here. So we really can't say, okay, is it class C that's selected that we are currently viewing the details or what? So what we can do today is you just come to your gallery, select your gallery, and on the properties drop down, just scroll down to template field. Scroll down to template field. And so what you have on the formula bar, clean it out. And let's write an if statement here. So we say if, so don't worry, I'll still record on the functions so that we get to understand how these functions work. So this is just so we see how we can actually harness the function to do some things on the Power Apps. So now we say that if this item dot selected. So what we're saying is if this item is selected, then we want to give it a field. So you put a comma, and let's say the field we want to give to this is I don't know, maybe we want to do a dark red. So just do a dark red, comma. If nothing is selected, then we should have transparent. So transparent is a color in Power Apps. I don't know if that exists in real life, but transparent is a color in Power Apps. So that means something like just white or so. So, and you close your bracket. So once you close your bracket, then if you go on to play our app now, and we select any record, so that record is highlighted. So we know what exactly we have selected at any point in time.
So can we add else to the function? Like if else?
Yeah, so what we have done is let me go back to template view. So if I go to the template view, I'll select the gallery first. Yeah, so now this if statement is taking 3 arguments. So the first argument is your logical test, what you want to test that should result to true or false. So now when you have this tested, then comma, what should happen if the value results to true? If the test results to a truth, what should happen? And the next is the else action actually. So if this results to a false, what should happen? So this is how if statements are constructed in Power Apps or in Excel, depending on the functional language we are working with. So it doesn't expressly specify an else statement. So it's all within the syntax of the if statement. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, it answers it. So definitely we don't need to write else in it. So that is the same. Okay.
No, we don't. This is not a programming language really. It's a functional language. So if it's a programming language, when you specify the condition, you specify the truth values, and then you need to specify the false. But this not. So it's just within the syntax of the if statement. You mention the test you want to perform, what should happen if the test is true, and what should happen if that results to a false. So that is this. So okay, please go on.
Okay, so you went to the property tab and chose template field. How did you determine that the next thing to click to select is template field?
How did I want to be sure I got the question. Okay, how did I know that it's template field I'm supposed to select, right?
Yes. How do we determine what to pick? You know, there was a time you picked on select, but now you didn't pick on select, you picked template field.
Okay, great. Thank you for that question. So let's quickly have a run through of this. What would inform what we would select depends on what we want to achieve. So everything that we have on this properties drop down they are actually properties for whatever object we have on the app. So if I select a gallery as I have it selected, it has a number of properties. So we can come to the field property. If I come to the field property, we'll see now that our gallery does not have any field. That's why everything is white. It has a white background. So if I want to give this a different background, so I can change this to say, I think there's a color in Power Apps called blue yellow or something. Maybe Cadence blue. Okay, so now the entire background of the gallery has changed. So that's because I've altered the field property of the gallery. So if I want to do something else, maybe I come down and then I want to reduce the height of the gallery. I can come to the height property. At the moment, this is 688. If I change this to 625, you see it's the height has reduced. So it actually depends on what we want to do. So that will inform what property do we go to. So if I go to the onSelect property is actually an action, a trigger property. So it is that when this particular object is selected, what do you want to happen? What action do you want to occur? So that is what the onSelect property does. So if I select another object such as the label, a label would have different set of properties. So as we have this label selected now, if I come to the properties pane, you'll see that there are different properties for the label. You can see it has an align property. The gallery does not have an align property. So because we are not aligning anything really on the gallery. So, but if I come to the align property of the label, at the moment it's on center. So I can change this to align dot right. So then it throws the entire text to the right. So because I've altered that property of that label. So what we need to do is just that whenever we have an object on our app and we need to alter some of the properties, we can always come down to this properties drop down, explore it, and then we would see which one of these would suit what we want to achieve on our app. I don't know if that answers it a bit.
It does. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, so yes, we are at the hour now. So, and I don't want to exceed what we have agreed on. So what I would do is that but at the moment, we understand, we have an idea of what it takes to build an app from blank, how we can begin to proceed. So what we may want to do after now is just, so maybe we may want to add another screen that would have an edit form, and on the edit form, we just create a navigate button from the home screen for this new customers button to take us to the edit form. Once we have details from the edit form, we submit it, we write a function. Submit form is the function we use to submit details that would be saved onto the data source. But those functions, will look at them holistically in the recordings that we will receive. I'm not promising that we will get it at a particular time, but I will try as much as possible as soon as I have the issue around the licenses resolved. So I would record those contents and share with us. But for what we have done so far, does it make sense to anyone? Do we understand? Do we have questions?
Yes.
Yes, sir, it does, sir.
Okay. Okay, great. Questions?
Sir, please, I would like to
Clarifications?
ask, sir, because
Okay, please
I
go
would
on.
like to know if this customer summary data, is it accessible? Is it accessible to the customer? Because looking at this data, it seems like it should only be the organization that should have access to the data. Looking at the passport numbers, the name and everything, based on data privacy and all that. So I
Yeah.
was just wondering, since it's an app, and customers will need to log into it and to, I don't know, to fill in some information. So I'm wondering if it is accessible to customers.
Okay. Thank you for that question, Olumide. And let me use that to clarify some things. Remember that when we started our conversation around Power Apps, we mentioned that there are different use cases for what we are building, and the kind of use case and the users would determine what app are we going to build. When we talk about Canvas app, really, Canvas app is meant to be for internal use. So it's not meant to be used by externals. So when you want to build app that will be used by externals, what would we build? Anyone remembers that?
Portals app.
Is it that
Portals app, correct, Portals app. So, but in this situation, we are building a Canvas app, which means that it will be used internally. And if we are using this internally, obviously, I don't think there is a secret to this. So I don't think there's an issue with anybody managing the customer database or the customer's data to work with this. So the essence of this and the major advantage will be that what they used to do is that they would come to this Excel file, come here on this record. Okay, we have another customer, customer number 52. Olumide is the name. They will enter in these records manually. That is what they used to do. But now we want to create an app for it so that it is the app that they will continue to use to populate all the details here so as to minimize errors. And so, data is more better protected and stuff. So that is the reason for that. So basically, the individual that used to populate this manually will still be the one that is using this app, really. I don't know if you get that, Olumide.
Yes, I do so.
Yeah, so that is if we want to build something that the customers themselves they would be able to use, then what we consider is a portals app, and there are ways to go about that. That is not covered in this module. So probably sometimes later this year we would have another module that will take on some advanced concepts, and probably that is when we'll look at the model-driven app and the portals app and some other advanced features that we can add to our Canvas app. But this is just to set the pace and so that we understand what is obtainable and some of what is practicable within the Power Apps ecosystem. Any other question?
Yeah, definitely. If I get this thing right, I can say the app we are building is just to have the duplicate of the entry that is those ones that are entered manually, right? And also to have a kind of um organized app for internal use or something.
Yeah, partially. So it's not creating a duplicate really. So if we add new details on this app, if we enter new data on this app, you would see them come on this data source. You see the new records, you see them populate here. So another advantage of the app is that if someone is working with an Excel file like this and the person is a sales individual, sales personnel, not every time would you be with your system to take data from your customer. You might be on the field and then you are meeting a customer and you need to take down the details. So it may not be so efficient. You are doing that on a paper. That can get misplaced. You might be in an environment that you cannot come out with your system for security reasons. So an app would be an excellent option for you. And so you can just launch your app, enter those details, and then save them, submit. Once you submit, you get those details automatically updated here. So even if there are people in the office that are looking at this data source to retrieve new details, it will be automatically updated here. Clear?
Awesome. Perfectly, sir.
Okay, great. All right, any other question?
Yes, thank you. I want to find out. Okay, so let's assume that I want to allow someone to, or I want to add an additional record.
Yeah.
How do I build it, not having duplicates? For example, maybe I'm trying to enter a customer details, but apparently the customer detail is already there and just need edit. How do
Okay.
one add these kind of features?
Okay, I understand. Yeah, so that's you write some logics actually. So and the logic would be that you want before you submit, after you have entered those fields, you have entered the first name, last name, and all. So on the submit button, rather than having just submit form alone as a function there, you write some other logics to ask Power Apps to go to the data source to go and confirm if this record exists. And what you would need Power Apps to go and confirm basically or primarily is the primary column. So you know we mentioned primary column, so that is the key. So you just ask Power Apps to go and look for that key. If that key exists, then it should throw an error that the record already exists.
Okay.
And after
Alright.
then, so the user will just go back to say the gallery or the browse screen, look for that detail, search for it, look for it, and then just edit whatever you want to edit. But that has to do, you cannot do that just manually. It has to be that you write some functions to achieve that.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Babatope, your hand is up.
Yeah, Muslim. Thank you once again. So I just want to ask, given that we've connected to our OneDrive or Google Drive as the case may be, the question now is, take for example, I updated the data on OneDrive. Is it going to update automatically on Power Apps?
Yes, but no. It will not update automatically if we do not have a button to do that. So what we can do is that we can add a button, insert a button. We insert a button here, and then on this button, on select property of the button, we write a function, and the function is refresh. So we want it to refresh, and that is to refresh the database. You can see it is asking for a data source that is connected to. So we select our table 1. That is our data source, and that is all. So if I click on the button, if I add new details, normally it should add those new details. So let's say click on the button, those new details should come in. You will go back to the data source to go and retrieve whatever new detail we have. So if you add new detail here, it should automatically pick it if we have that button, but by default it will not pick it. Power Apps is meant to write to your data source, not that your data source will write into Power Apps. Do you get the flow? So, but if you want to know what current items do you have on the data source, you can add a button and add a refresh function to it. So Power Apps goes back to the data source and pulls whatever new data you have on the source.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
So definitely
Okay.
this is the end of the Power Apps session, right? So tomorrow we are going to Power BI or what?
Yeah, so like I mentioned when we started, so the other things that we would get on Power Apps, they will be recorded and shared with us. So we'll start Power BI tomorrow, and we are supposed to download Power BI desktop on our system. So hopefully I will send us an email with a link to download that for those of us that we don't already have Power BI desktop installed. And we'll be working with some XSS files, which I would share with us as well. So we can be on the lookout for some emails that we would get from me. So yeah, that's it. And for Power BI, we don't need an environment. So, but I will try as much as possible as soon as I'm able to resolve those issues. So I will record on how we can create a developer account so that going forward, before we get to when we would need the environment again, when we start our conversation around Power Automate, we are sure that we have that environment. And I'm aware that probably our environment will expire in a week time. So I will try as much as possible to get the recording to us before then so that we can have an environment we can work with before that expires. Olumide.
Yes, sir. Please, what are your advice? For me, I don't know of anybody, but what are your advice? Like, seeing the fact now that we're moving from Power Apps now to Power BI, what are your advice for me to, improve myself with respect to the application and everything we've learned so far?
Okay, yeah, thank you for that. So basically, when it comes to anything technology, anything technical, the bottom line is practicing. So we need to just push ourselves to practice as much as we can. And part of the advantages we would have is when we are practicing and you are stuck somewhere, or there is a feature you want to implement on your app, but you're not sure of how to go about it, please, you can always put those on the group. We have a support system for us. Let's put those on the group. We have very proficient hands on the group that would assist us with that. So, but essentially is that we don't leave it to the learnings. We go back to them, we practice, practice, practice as much as we can until we get a good grasp of it, and then we probably would be comfortable with it at that point. But at this time, we need to always refer to it, if not every day, alternate days, so that we practice, and then I think that's the bottom line.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So let me take the last question so we close it. Yeah.
Okay. My own is not a question.
Okay. Please go on.
Okay, just to remember to add my email so that when you're sending communications out, I'll get.
Okay. I'll get that from you on WhatsApp. I'll send you a message on WhatsApp.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so thank you everybody. If you have further questions, please let's use the WhatsApp group, or you can send that to me directly, so that we don't keep everyone on the call. We have 42 minutes at the top of the hour already, and it's been a long day. So sorry that we had to extend to this time, but it's so that we have a meaningful point to end this conversation. We don't just stop things abruptly. So thank you very much, and we hope to see you tomorrow again. Let's endeavor to come in as early as possible so that we can have enough time to discuss and look at certain things within the Power BI. So thank you once again, everyone, and let's do have a restful night.
Thank you, Mohsen.
Thank you too.
Thank you, Musin.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Everyone.
Thank you, Musin.
Thank you, everyone.
Ah, oh boy. Oh boy.